Well, with me right now is Stuart Spencer of Advanced Ear Care. We always like to have Stuart here, and we're both kind of dressed for the holidays. You got your nice red shirt on.
You bet. I'm ready.
Good to see you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
It's nice to be here.
It is, the time of the year where we were talking outside there, where a lot of gatherings are going on, and I think people that have some hearing loss, you really can notice it even more this time of year, right? When you've got all these different events and stuff.
You know, everybody gets busy this time of year,
Yeah.
right? And, a lot of family comes in from out of town. A lot of family gatherings, whether it's, just recently, Thanksgiving. We had a lot of people gather, had a lot of conversations after that. We've just had an amazing 30-day stretch here where we have helped so many people to hear better. It's been like triple any other month of any other year we've ever had.
Wow.
And so, people are telling their friends and family, we're helping people with these new technologies. I mean, so when people gather, that's when they notice it, right?
Yeah.
So, they're struggling, and the family members notice they're struggling a little bit more. So sometimes it's the son and daughter that come in from out of town and say, Mom, I think you need a little more help than, what you have.
Right, right.
And so, we pick it up from there, and it's been really successful. So, yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
People getting together, it's an important thing.
Well, Stuart, I've been telling him for a couple of years now that we're hoping my father-in-law would finally get hearing aids. Now, he lives out in Murrieta, so he got him out there, but he did finally get him before Thanksgiving, and
what a difference.
What
right?
a difference.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
he could hear fairly well, but again, in the crowds and certain frequencies
right.
and things like that. Yeah.
Well, I always tell people, three things with hearing loss that are so interesting. Is one, it's invisible.
Yeah.
Two, it's painless. And three, it's so gradual.
Yeah.
Those people with hearing loss think they hear normal. And then you show them the difference. They're like, oh my gosh, I wish I would have really done this a long time ago.
Yeah.
Because they don't know the difference. Then they're able to see it like your father-in-law. It's like, hey, this is pretty nice,
The other thing we're talking about is, you and I are probably of the era of rock concerts and things like that.
Sure.
They still go on, of course, but I think people are a little more cognizant of hearing. However, we were affected by that, going to see all those
rock and roll.
Elton John and all those people. But now, younger kids are growing up at a very early age with ear pods.
Yeah.
And, other ones, even the more advanced headphones like Beats and stuff like that can produce
wireless
incredible sounds, but at incredible volume.
Yep, and a cost, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so teen hearing loss is way up. And it's not even like really the loudness level. I mean, that's part of it, but it's the time, the length of time they're wearing those things.
Yeah.
They're listening to them for hours a day. They're just hammering their hearing.
Yeah.
So teen hearing loss is way up. So, we see people younger all the time now from our era because of rock and roll.
Yeah.
And a lot of other things. I mean, whether it's Vietnam or, the wars or just loud noise exposure in other areas.
Is it reversible? In other words, let's say a teen has some hearing loss, and is it something that, there's a lot of things that we may do in life that if we stop doing it, it can be reversible.
Yeah.
Like somebody who smoked for years and stopped.
So a sensory neural loss isn't.
Yeah.
You lose that hearing, it's gone.
Okay.
And those little hair cells die. They're not regrow. You can't grow them back.
All right. So that's the way it is.
Yeah.
It's good to know.
Yeah.
All right.
So just along that line,
Yeah.
just real quickly. Now, how many babies do you see with the earmuffs on when you go to venues, right?
That's right.
You never saw that
never saw
before.
that.
Now they're really protecting their hearing right from those young ages.
Yeah.
So, more to the point, if, everybody's a little more cognizant of it today, just those teens are hard to convince, with anything, but also with protecting their hearing.
Well, I even know when my daughter was younger, and we'd take her to a movie theater, particularly maybe a loud movie, she would put stuff in her ears, earplugs, and she had tubes in her ears when she was like 2 to 3 or whatever it was. So her ears became more sensitive.
Yep, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So even today, sometimes we go somewhere and she'll
cover up
a little bit. All right. Now, last month you had a wonderful event called the Lunch and Learn, and I heard it just went well.
Yeah. We had, it was very successful. We had a Lunch and Learn over here. We were very graciously hosted by Geneva Presbyterian Church. And boy, just kudos to them. What a wonderful, warm, and very efficient staff they have. They've got such a nice venue there. It just really dovetailed into exactly what we wanted to do for the community, which was talk to them about hearing loss and the cognitive kind of impairments that people can have if they don't stimulate their hearing once that they've noticed they've had hearing loss. So we have brought in a speaker from out of town that's kind of a specialist on cognitive hearing loss and cognitive issues with hearing loss. And so he spoke. We had about 50 people there, and it was just a great venue. We had a great lunch, provided with some food there that we provided, and a lot of great information. Caption call came. I think we ended up providing about 30 telephones to people that came that had hearing loss. They came
Very
over,
nice.
we tested them, certified them, and then we helped a lot of other people for the first time with some hearing devices, and it was just really successful, and it was just a great event for all of us, and it was fun to be part of that and work with Geneva Presbyterian Church there.
Yeah, that I'm glad to hear that went well. You mentioned the speaker that talked about the cognitive effects of hearing, and we've talked about this before. It's not as though that people with mild hearing loss or maybe a bit advanced, they're hearing sounds, they're hearing, but they're not understanding.
Yeah,
and there's the difference.
That's right. Yeah, I always tell, patients, they come in, they're sitting talking over a table like this, like, I hear you fine. Why on earth would I need a hearing aid? You know? And so they can hear like a glass break 3 blocks away, but they can't hear 3 feet across the table in a restaurant, right? And so they hear, but they don't understand the words, and it's just part of their hearing is missing. But the volume is there. They can hear their wife talk to them from down the hall. They have no idea what she's saying. Yeah. So they've got to come in the room, look at them, talk to them. So we walk people through that whole process from a short video we show them right up front. Yeah. So they kind of understand what's happening, because a lot of people just don't get it. Right. And it's not easy. It's kind of a complicated concept. So we walk them through all the different steps, a total pathway. And by the end of that visit, they're pretty well informed. They feel really comfortable about making a decision, one way or the other with their hearing. So, it is important to realize all those different issues.
And you're right, it sneaks up on you. I think, when you turn a certain age and you have to start wearing reading glasses or something, you notice it right away.
Right away, that's right.
And so you start to do something about it, and maybe later on get contacts, whatever it might be. But hearing loss, as you said, is so gradual.
Boy, I tell you,
most of the time it's gradual.
Most of the time it is gradual. And, people typically wait 7 to 10 years when they realize they have loss to when they do something about it. Because let's face it, you get by, right? Yeah. I mean, deaf people get by. So, you have hearing loss, you do get by. But, boy, to the spouse's detriment, the TV volume's up, they're repeating all the time, everybody's accommodating their hearing, and if they just corrected it, it'd be so much easier for them. And of course, once we do it, they're like, oh my gosh, I wish I would have done this so long ago, because they just feel more comfortable and confident.
And the technology is getting so much better.
It's so much better. We're seeing, we have a data log on hearing aids. We can see how people are using them and how they're changing, the different programs, how they're affecting volume. More people are coming in, leaving it on their main program. They're just putting them on, wearing them, and hearing better. Yeah. These nanotechnologies are fast, smart, sharp. They're really working well. So the technologies today do the heavy lifting, so people don't have to sit there and fiddle with everything to try to hear well. They just hear well all the time. I wear mine, on that normal level like 95% of the time. If I go to a Ducks game or a loud restaurant, or I was at a church party last night, I'll flip it over to the restaurant mode to reduce the background noise. But, I hardly ever touch them. I just put them on and wear them and hear better. So, a lot of our clientele are, over 70, they're a little afraid of technology, or they really don't want to deal with it at all.
Right, yeah.
With these, you don't have to do something like that.
Now, what about the ones, I know there's some that you don't need to change the batteries.
Yeah, those are so popular. They're almost in every model today. They've become so popular. We have people with, arthritic problems or neuropathy or just whatever it is, vision issues. Taking those little tabs off those batteries is a challenge for me, right? So the rechargeable hearing aids, you take them off, you put them on a charger, it just snaps right in.
Do they work pretty well?
They work great, and the cells in them are real reliable today. So they go for about 3.5 days, although we have people charge them every night. But if you did forget, it would go the next day as well. And just put them on. It's incredible technology. People like it a lot. Simple, right? Yeah. Simple's good.
Well, if somebody wants to come by and get their ears checked, they can
always give us a call.
Give you a call, and you give kind of a little consultation and.
Yep, we'll walk them through the whole pathway.
Yeah.
There's no charge for the exam, so that way they can find out where they're at. We have a lot of people that come in, just want to know where they're at. We take a good 20, 25 minutes with them, and they have perfect hearing. And that's okay.
Yeah.
Right? It's great. We have a baseline. We tell them to come back about a year or two, and we'll just track it. Some people are on the edge, so it's important for them to come back a little faster. But not everybody has loss that comes in, and that's good.
Very good.
That's what we like to see.
All right. Hey, Merry Christmas to you.
Man.
Happy
Yeah,
New
thank
Year,
you.
because
Thank you.
I doubt I'll see you beforehand.
Right. Probably
Yeah.
not. But you're always welcome.
Yeah.
Come on over.
Yeah, we'll have to do that sometime.
I'd like that.
All right, Advanced Ear Care, they're right over here at is it Willow Tree? I always forget the name of it.
Willow Tree Shopping.
Yes, over by Aldi and those areas. And Stuart's been serving this community for 30 years?
37 years.
All right,
Can you
wow.
believe that? Wow is right.
Yeah, so he knows it very well. All right, we'll be back.